Hello, everyone. It's Marcie Peters, America's Whole Life Coach and your Age Backward Ambassador. And I have a special guest for you today. I wanted to invite Heather to talk to you about her results and her transformation because she has had a lot of life-changing experiences after she started coaching with me, and it has really made incredible progress. And so let's hear from her. Heather, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Hi. So, could you tell everyone what was going on in your life and what had transpired up to the point when we met?
I had been in a really long chronic illness phase of about 10 years in my marriage and suffering with depression, chronic fatigue, joint pain, overweight, just the typical, seems to be like this typical story for a lot of women these days. And I was really, really in probably the peak of everything, like when I met you, dealing with just not even knowing that I was unhappy. I was so covered up by this illness and by this like pain in my life. I didn't even know that like I was so overweight and so unhappy and so miserable. And kind of everything that started to shift was my marriage of almost 15 years was dissolving, kind of in our friendship, starting to happen, and then you reaching your hand out to me, and it was kind of just this big momentum into like things shifting and changing, and then there you were, and I was just ready to see like what was in front of me and do something about it, or even just like acknowledge it that it was there.
Yeah. So you stepped forward and said, okay, I'll do the program with you. I'll make these changes. And so what started happening after that?
The first step is taking your hand, which is I think the biggest, and anyone that I think works with you, just please know that is your biggest, greatest achievement right there, just to accept the help, receive the help, and honor yourself and helping yourself. And it was really, really difficult at first to, you feel like you're putting your tail between your legs, admitting all of these things about yourself and seeing what's really in front of you is really hard. And but once I was committed and sticking to the plan that you made for me and stopped making excuses, or if I was making excuses, just verbally like telling you and like allowing you to actually be involved in my process of healing and growing, like things really started to pick up momentum. And it was pretty quick. The quickest result was obviously the weight loss. The weight, the weight dropped off within the first week of the program. It took a little time for the other symptoms to kind of pick up, because I think it was just such a drastic change, for my body and everything just like equalizing out and figuring itself out. But it's been almost 2 years. It's like hard to even like remember like that was my life. Like it's so different now. But yeah, the weight dropping off weekly, and I think when you and I really figured out that it wasn't just about the numbers and the weight, that it was deeper and it was about how I was feeling. And you growing as a coach and us working together, just figuring it out, you're just so intuitive and just started asking me the right questions and just like looking at myself in such a different, loving way. And that's really when things like the fatigue started to lift. I started exercising. I actually hired my sister as personal trainer and started working with her and doing like really hardcore stuff, and just pretty amazing, like allowing my body, the ability to try something that's difficult, that before I'd have so much fear about it because I knew that it would just crap me out and I'd be like asleep for days. And I was just like, no, like I'm just gonna commit and do it. And my body, just like a champ, like held through, and just really, really noticing how important what I choose to put in my mouth is as well. That was like one of the biggest lessons from all of this was I have so many food sensitivities. So the program that me and you were on was already limiting, but then with the food sensitivities, it was like extra limiting. And so I got to learn so much about how food affects me and my emotions and how I feel, and so quickly because I was so clean. So if there was, a cheating day or whatever, like it was just immediately communicated to me that like you can't, like that's not good for you. This is what happens. This is what why you feel this way, and it was just learning about myself is really what I remember the most.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you'd been struggling with your weight your whole life or for a long time since high school?
Yeah. I recall like maybe always being like a little overweight, but it's funny because you look back at childhood pictures and you're like, God, I used to think that I was fat, like when you're little or like a kid, and like you're not. Like when you look back now and you're like, I was totally fine. But something in my head or somebody in my family was giving me those messages. I was always like a bigger child. I grew really fast. I was always taller than everyone else. And so maybe, I don't know if like messages got kind of mixed wired a little bit, because then I ended up actually becoming, the bigger girl, always holding weight, and junior high, and then in high school is when it really started to, become like a problem. And then through my teens and 20s, it just fluctuated back and forth, like always, just depending on usually my emotions, like where I was and if I was going through a depressive episode or fatigue episode or whatever. Just my body is so freaking smart. It just is like, I know when you're not happy and I'm trying to tell you something.
Right.
And yeah.
So it was weight, pain, fatigue, digestive stuff, anything else that was going on?
Yeah, it was a whole body knockout. It was everything you can imagine. There was just every night I was on WebMD Googling symptoms, trying to figure out what in the hell was wrong with me. But because all of my symptoms were like 20 pages long, you have everything on WebMD. Like it's just not clear. And you going to the doctor's office and saying, I have fatigue, I have joint pain, I have brain fog, my eyes don't work, my knees don't work, my stomach is always hurting, like, I'm itchy all the time, I have weird rashes. Like, they just look at you like you're insane and tell you that you're depressed. But you have all of these like physical symptoms that are manifesting that you feel inside of you. And it was just everything, days that I couldn't get out of bed and walk down the stairs. I couldn't even straighten my legs to like walk down the stairs, which is just so crazy to think about right now. Like I just haven't really thought about it in a long time. Had really, really bad back trouble. Just all of hair loss. Like I don't know, like all of that weird stuff that just they don't know why. But you do.
Yeah. And how are you feeling now, and how much weight have you lost?
I really stopped like looking at my numbers, but I think that I've lost about 45 pounds in the past few years. I am a completely different body, completely different person. I no longer suffer with chronic fatigue. I have my moments and my days, but I just chalk that up as to I'm just human, and I think everybody has that, It's just some days are worse than others, but for the most part, all the joint pain is gone, except, I'm 38, so I think things happen, like, it's not all perfect, but it's coming to this point of just like, I think I'm just normal, and whereas I used to think that I wasn't, and it's just, if anything, like, that just feels so good, just feeling like I'm just exactly where I'm supposed to be, and my body works, and it always has, too, even then it was working, it was just trying to tell me something, and it wasn't listening.
Right. And you started a business, and you've really gotten in alignment with your heart's dreams.
Yeah, so besides all of the physical, which I really did put a lot, I put like an entire year really into just dedicating myself to that, and also working on myself, my self awareness, and my heart. And I'm an artist. I went to art school, but I hadn't been painting in years. I was just waitressing and doing a job that I hated, made my heart black. I was very unhappy, and I think it was. I think it came to be about like I was working with you, started working with you like October 2013, and then like around February, April of 2014 was when I really started feeling like so much better, and then I really started to commit to doing the work on my inner self and who I am as a person, and really facing like my passion and my creativity, and totally just started this business where I now paint vision boards for people. So I work with people, and we just work together and like accessing your like hopes and your dreams and your goals. And I will paint a fine art painting for you, and you live with it in your home, and it's all based on the law of attraction and visualization. And I just have a really fluid, intuitive, emotional style of painting, and it's been a dream come true, and like literally for me, because I'm painting everyone else's dreams, and their dreams are coming true. So it sounds completely weird and wild, and like
no, I have goosebumps because I have one of your paintings, and it's so amazing and so special and so beautiful. I just love it.
Yeah.
So, well, Heather, thank you so much for sharing from your heart with everyone. I really appreciate it, and I'm so proud of you and how far you've come. I'm just makes me so happy to see you now and see how much you're flourishing. So, thank you for that. And do you have any last words before we wrap up?
I just want to say thank you, and if anyone is watching this or hearing this and it's resonating with my story, please know that Marcie as well has been there. And if you need help in any way, like, and she's there and you connect with her, like, please just reach out to her in an email or a phone call. Or she's amazing. She's nothing but pure heart, and she has your back and will help you like figure it out. She just like helps you listen to your body. Like she just shows you how you can listen to your own body. It's like a skill that you get to take for the rest of your life.
Thank you. All right. To everyone who's watching, thank you for being part of my community. And until next time, bye for now.